We're here at Gorge Campground, Deschutes National Forest here in Central Oregon, along the banks of the mighty Metolius River. Let's go check out the campsites. We're here at Gorge Campground, Metolius River National Recreation Area. Gotta say, I'm digging this awesome, epic pine right here, right? When you drive in, if Dr. Seuss or Tim Burton designed a campground, this might be it. Let's walk the sites. Here's our main campground road. Here on the right is actually one. We'll get to two over here in a second. But here's one. Again, you got kind of a funky tree here, kind of cool. Grove of Ponderosa pines, lodgepole pines. Got your picnic table, fire pit strewn within the grove of trees. I will say straight ahead is the campground forest road to access this area. So kind of exposed there, but very interesting, eclectic site. Coming back across the way here till 2. Also very kind of open and exposed, nice long driveway, picnic table, fire pit. I'm loving this leaning tower of Pisa, Ponderosa pine. Already, like when you first get here, you got like 3 really interesting trees, kind of creating a sense of character, a spirit, a tone of this campground. So I'm digging that. I'm digging the vibe I'm getting from this place. So here's picnic table, fire pit. Not the best privacy lines, because right there you got presumably 4, so that's not good. There's your restroom, and you got a path over. This is kind of the center of the campground. I prefer to be up against the feature, in this case Metolius River. So 1 and 2 are eclectic and interesting, but not optimal compared to some of the other campground in this zone. There's 12 campgrounds in Metolius River National Recreation Area. Kind of weird numbering, because I'll come back over here to 3. It feels like 4 is before 3, but they did 3 on this side. So here's 3. Picnic table, you got your restroom right there. Fire pit, you got this turnabout for parking. Very inner loop landlocked. You're not right up against a feature. You got campsites over there. You got 2 over there. So beautiful section of Deschutes National Forest. Beautiful swath of Ponderosa pines, but not great if you're here for the river, and why else would you be here if not for the river? So I'm getting a weird vibe from this place, like epic Ponderosa pine, Deschutes National Forest. I mean, look at this. This is ridiculous. Let me pan up here. So the trees are legend, the forest is legend, but the river access so far is non-existent. Here's 4 massive turnabout, maybe good for an RV, picnic table, fire pit. Again, straight ahead there is the main road to turn onto the campground, so you will have cars going by there, a little suboptimal. And you got 3 across the way. So I'm 4 in so far, and they're all inners. We haven't really had contact with National Wild and Scenic Metolius River, which would be the star attraction, the main draw of this area. A lot of pine cones strewn about, understandable given these epic ponderosas. Here's 5. Got your kind of shoulder parking turnabout. You park here, picnic table, fire pit. Again, kind of weird. You got some brush and a huge grove of trees. On the other side there is the main road. So not great. Keeping it real. 6. You've got a path to the restroom. Here's your parking, picnic table, fire pit. At least we're starting to get close to the river. River's like straight ahead. So at least we're starting to get a little closer to the river, but we're already into the 6th site. I see picnic table over there. So not river adjacent, not shoreline. So kind of an interesting campsite. Fun for like a family to have like a forest experience, but not really much river so far. Here's 7. Got your parking, nice big parking. There's 8 right across from you. So 8 and 7 are kind of right across from each other. A game of catch could break out. Not the best privacy lines. Picnic table, fire pit on the other side. Really cool ponderosas. Again, the main road's over there. So you're gonna see cars driving by during busy season. It's my first time ever at Gorge Campground, and I'm just having a weird reaction to it, because it's like, I wanna love it from all these ponderosas and interesting trees, but the actual layout isn't that great. So as I said, there's 8, picnic table, fire pit, park here. It's right across from 7 behind me I just looked at. I can see campsites over there. So again, it's landlocked. So we're already to site 9. I guess that's why this is called Gorge Campground and not Shoreline Campground, because it's kind of tucked into this forest wonderland. So I walk loudly on the crunchy pine cones. Here's 9, here's your parking, picnic table, fire pit. Got some interesting topography here, some hills, some beautiful trees. You do have your friend 10 over there. You're not next to the river, so yet another inner. Here's 10. I do think we're eventually going to get to the river straight ahead, so maybe we'll have a few that are river shoreline, which is what I'm looking for. 10, you got your turnabout, which is nice. Picnic table, fire pit, or you got your friend 9 over there. Over there's the main road. Kind of cool, the rocks. It's kind of a volcanic area. You got some old rocks and ponderosas, and that's neat. But again, not against the river. I'd probably put my picnic table, I'd probably put my tent straight ahead right there. Again, here's your picnic table, fire pit. There's your friend 9, 7, 8 are down there. So not great as far as the river, but interesting. Oh, so now we're coming up to one that says premium site. That normally means it's shoreline. Typically that means in recreation.gov they charge a little bit more, but I think it's worth it. I still think camping is one of the best values out there versus like a hotel stay. So here's 11, and you can hear the roar of the river and you can see it. Nice, long, epic driveway. Again, there's the sign. Now we're talking. Now we're actually getting up to the river, which is what this area is all about. Metolius River National Recreation Area. Picnic table, fire pit. We'll go check out the river access. I will point out you got 12 right there. So 11 and 12 are like right next to each other. A little suboptimal, not perfectly carved. Again, I'll come look at it from the perspective of your fire pit. That's the parking for 12 straight ahead, and that's their picnic table. That's their access point straight between those 2 trees. Here's your access point for 11. I will also remind that you got East Metolius River Trail, Shoreline Trail, going right by you here. So as far as privacy, you'll have people hiking iceberg dead ahead right here. See, here's the signage for the trail. So people will be hiking like right where I'm walking. So let me look back. Again, there's 12, here's 11, it's the one we're on right now. So you do sacrifice a little bit of privacy for the shoreline access people hiking right by you. Arguably, you got a couple access points to National Wild and Scenic Metolius River. One of them is right here. Very cool. You could just like walk right in. You kind of have some cool hiking right there up against that canyon. You can come right here and look at that. That's gorgeous. That is gorgeous. And let's go look at our other access point from 11. I gotta say, look at this epic Ponderosa. Kind of the heart of site 11. That's ridiculous. Like this is, almost feels like CGI. Like as I said earlier, if Tim Burton or Dr. Seuss made a campground, it might be Gorge Campground. I mean, these trees are ridiculous. Here's another dream fly fisherman access point. Look at that water. I mean, that is perfect water. You can walk right in and see how there's that tree right there. They do that on purpose to give you an area that's less, whitewater rapidy. So you can just go stand out there in your hip waders and fly fish your heart's content. Got a clear demarcation because of that tree right there. So epic zone to fly fish. 11 right here is, that's why it's a premium site. If you're a fly fisherman, you want to be at site 11 so far out of all these. And again, trail perspective, East Metolius River Trail. Over there's 12. We're finishing up 11. This might be my favorite Ponderosa. This whole place, look at that thing. That is ridiculous. That is legend, my friend. So here is site 12, also a premium site. You can see 11's right here. There's a parking for 11, picnic table, fire pit. Here's the campground road. See, it says Prem site, premium site. This is your turnabout. Straight ahead, your picnic table, fire pit. Again, here's your friend as far as lot lines. So you get right up against Metolius River, which is why it's a premium site. Again, let me pan back around just for bearings. So this is epic as far as being up against the river. Great fire pit, nice long picnic table. Remember right here, like 10 feet in front of me is East Metolius River Shoreline Trail. So you literally have hikers hiking right by you right here going this way. You can see that signage straight ahead on the trail. That's for East Metolius River Trail. So people are walking right here and they're really like, I don't know what that is, 15, 20 feet from your picnic table. So you are definitely sacrificing privacy for premium shoreline access. Probably well worth it if you're a fly fisherman. Here is your fly fisherman access point, in my opinion. And it will most definitely even have 3 steps, stone steps down into the river. And then this whole area, probably this side of the log, is perfect for putting some hip waders on, going in there, casting a line, and just fly fishing to your heart's content. I mean, this is a dream fly fisherman's paradise. 11 and 12 are pretty legit when it comes to fly fishing. They both have their own like private fly fishing area in the water with a tree giving you a nicer current, so you can just stand there for hours and fly fish to your heart's content. So 11 and 12 pay for themselves with their fly fishing capability. As I said, here's 12 as far as picnic table and fire pit, and then over there's 11. So not the best privacy lines within each other, and definitely not the privacy lines relative to East Metolius River Trail, which you can see weaves right by 11 and 12. So 11 and 12 are a trade-off, but if you're a fly fisherman, you probably would eagerly take that trade-off. So those are probably the only two good sites here so far, although I'm coming up to 13, and I do see it says premium site. So we'll check this one out as well. We know it's on the Metolius River side, which is a good sign. So here you've got your turnabout. You've got 14 over there, presumably also premium site. Here's your picnic table, fire pit, and let me walk over here, the fire pit, picnic table. You don't have the best line of sight as far as with your neighbor here, 14. So you can definitely see each other, but you're right on the river. Come around here. The good news is you do have this brush, which kind of blocks part of East Metolius River Trail's line of sight. Kind of blocks 12 over there. You can't really see it because of the brush. Here is our access to East Metolius River Trail. So people will be hiking straight ahead right there on our left. They'll be walking this way where I'm walking now. This is your access point for site 13. Great access point. Look at that. You can walk right in this side of the log. Your hip waders. Look down at mighty Metolius River. It's a dream wonderland zone. Those rocks on the right there are probably why it's called Gorge Campground. This area's got a gorge feel to it, and right there is where you would be fishing. So again, here's East Metolius River Trail, and at least it's a little around the corner from your site. So this is pretty good. This is better privacy than 11 and 12 are over there. This one is better, 13. So again, you got your picnic table, fire pit. You got presumably 14 right there. Little bit of line of sight blockage, better than 11 and 12. So I might like 13 the best so far, although 11, 12, and 13 are pretty even. Just depends on exactly what you covet. Here's our next premium site, number 14. And first I'll just stop here and take a look, show you the bearings. That's the campground road. We show you here's 13, down there's 11 and 12. So 13 and 14 are better space than 11 and 12 are. Got your own little turnabout, picnic table, fire pit. Pretty open, lots of places to put tent. I'd probably put my tent over there, but you could put it over here, you could put it right here. Probably shaded away from 13, so that's why I was thinking I'd probably put it straight ahead in front of that gnarly log. Probably the best place to put it for 14. I will say downside, you don't have any breakage from the East Metolius River Trail. Straight ahead, that is East Metolius River Trail going right by here. So 13's definitely got better line of sight breakage. It's got some brush between you. 14 does not really have anything. Like I'll come over here and show you. I'll show you East Metolius River Trail, and this is the access point for site 14 as far as fly fishing. So first I'll just show you the trail. This is East Metolius River Trail. You see that? And then look at your site. They're walking right by you, and this is the trail. So you have really no privacy line of sight. So that's a total L. But you do have this access point to the fly fishing. And I will say, this doesn't give you that smooth, hip wader section where you have a wide area you can stand like 11, 12, and 13 did. So I would say 14 has got inferior fly fishing access, and it's got inferior privacy. So I would say 14 is probably the worst of those four, keeping it real. If it was me, I would say 11, 12, and 13 are better than 14. See, there's 13. At least it's got a little bit of breakage with the trail. Here is site 15, also a premium site. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's 5 premium sites. Here's your campground road. This is on the side of Metolius River, and East Metolius River Trail is the other side of this brush. You got a nice turnabout, picnic table, fire pit. That's starting to take you back to campground. Here's our access point. Let's go take a look. Probably gonna walk through some spider webs, but that's life, right? So this is our access. At least it gives us some privacy from the East Metolius River hikers as far as privacy. And come back here for perspective. So now I'm on East Metolius River Trail, just hiking along. And here I feel like is the access point for 15. Got to hike a little bit, but it's just like a minute away. That wasn't too bad. Here's East Metolius River Trail perspective. There's the river itself. And I'm gonna pan up and look at that sun just because that's gorgeous. Why not, right? Here you can like walk right into the river. Look at that. That's pretty cool. It's like walk right into the river beauty. Digging those ponderosas across the way. This works as far as hip waders. I kind of like it when there's like a tree and there's like a really calm like pool that you can stand in. This isn't that, but I mean this looks pretty safe. I'm sure you can go in there. It's just a little bit heavier currents. You got to be more careful. Not that you shouldn't always be careful when you're in the river, but so this is kind of the access point. Again, this is East Metolius River Trail, this way and this way. Kind of weird. This one doesn't feel like it's directly associated with Site 15. Like you got to walk around about a minute. Not a big deal, but it's just not like a direct footpath like some of the other ones were. So let's walk back from East Metolius River Trail to Site 15, so one of our premiums. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 are 5 premiums so far. And yeah, here, picnic table, fire pit. Probably put my tent straight ahead on the other side of this log. Makes sense. It kind of feels like the only place you could put it. Do have somebody right across the way. It's an inner, so 15's okay. I didn't like 15 or 14. I feel like 11, 12, and 13 were the best. I feel like 14 and 15, although premium, were not as good. Let's look at 16. You got a turnabout to the right here, and then you got a really fishbowl inner. I am not a fan of 16. You're not on the river. You don't have a side trail to the river. Look, you got a friend there and a friend there. See this triad? I think that's like 2 and 3 on the other side, and then 16. I would avoid all 3 of these, because why would you want to be like in a weird triangle on the inner away from the river if you've driven all the way out to Metolius River? So those are all deal breakers. I would not do 16. Keeping it real. I'm not going to pretend every site's magic, because they're not. What's the point of reviewing them if you're not going to see differentiation in quality? So let's continue along. Almost done. It's 18 total. We're at 17. Here's 17. It doesn't have the premium moniker. Here's your driveway. Picnic table, fire pit. Just because it doesn't have the premium sticker doesn't mean it's not premium. Obviously check recreation.gov. Trying to see where I'd put my tent. Probably put my tent straight ahead on the other side of that log. Picnic table, fire pit. This is actually a pretty good one, because you are up against Metolius River. The downside is, hello, East Metolius River Trail. Let me show you from this perspective. There's your picnic table, fire pit. That right there is East Metolius River Trail. So hikers will literally be, 8 or 10 feet from your picnic table. So if it's a heavy hiker day, you're gonna have a constant stream of people essentially walking through your site. I'm sure that's why this isn't premium, is because you are really giving up the privacy. At least like 13 was around a corner. You had some brush. This is like, hello, you can shake the hand of every hiker who walks by. So for that reason, it's probably why there isn't a premium marker, although check recreation.gov. I just explained the privacy issues. Here is your access to the river, which is actually very high quality. This I would view as the domain of 17. It's got a nice little walk-in pool of tranquility. I'm digging this. Here's your river, very beautiful. And it's got some down logs and stuff, kind of give you an area you can hang out over here and fish from. So that's impressive. I'm digging that. So the fly fishing at 17 is really high quality. It's right up against the river as far as views. However, you got East Metolius River Trail right here. literally like right at your site. Like, look at that. So probably a deal breaker for most. If you're one of those people that can give two rips about privacy, then 17 is outstanding because you get right on the river, great views from the site and great river shoreline access. But if you care about privacy, 17 is a deal breaker. Keeping it real. Here is campsite 18, last but not least, here at Gorge Campground. Got your picnic table and fire pit. You got your driveway. You do have the river off in the distance, but not clear access to it. You do have East Metolius River Trail between you and the river. So 18 is not great. It's right up against the road to turn into Gorge Campground. 17 over there, so here's your campground sign. 18 is not great. I would skip 18. Picnic, the fire pit is not really facing anything. 18 is generic. So I would say my final review of Gorge Campground, it's got some of the most interesting ponderosa pines and weird twisted mangled trees I've ever seen in a campground. So feels like it should have a moniker designed by Dr. Seuss or Tim Burton. So for that, it's cool. It's an epic section of forest, Deschutes National Forest. Again, as I said, some of the most beautiful ponderosa pines I've seen at a campground. So it's got an eclectic feel, feels destination-y as far as like worthy to come to. However, I'm not a huge fan of the way it's been carved as far as the actual site and proximity to the river, lot lines. I think, as they say, there's 5 premium sites, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I thought 15 wasn't great. I thought 14 wasn't great. I really feel like 11, 12, and 13 are the stars. 11 and 12 are right next to each other, but they also have really good fly fishing access. 13 is at least carved around a corner. I probably like 13 and then 11 and then 12 is my 3 favorite. Probably followed by 14 and then 15. So those are the 5 best. I mean, it makes sense just even without a review that the ones up against the river are going to be the best ones, but that would be my review. I would not say there's about 12 campgrounds here at Metolius River National Recreation Area in this Wonderland zone. I don't think Gorge is like the best or even one of the best. I would much rather be at Candle Creek. I think I'd much rather be at Allen Springs. So we have a couple sites here that are really high quality that are destination worthy, but all in all, I wouldn't say that Gorge is like the best or one of the best here. I think it's mid-tier as far as the quality of campgrounds here at Metolius River National Recreation Area. This is my first time here though, and probably my biggest takeaway is the gorgeousness, no pun intended, of the Ponderosa Pines. Deschutes National Forest, absolutely